Okay, here we go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Grace. I am Reverend Carolyn McGee with Reverend Dawn Simpson, and we are here going to talk about purpose, and got an interesting twist on it to go through today. So, as always, let's gather our energy. So, just if it's safe for you, close your eyes. Put your feet on the ground, open up your body. I'm taking 3 deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. So here we go for 1. And 2. And 3. And I invite you to ask your angels and your guides, the ascended masters, the fairy realm, the natural realm, the animal realm, whoever is here to support you, and maybe it's all of them, to join us here in our circle, in this beautiful sacred event. And let's invite in the energy of Divine Order of the Sacred Rose, her essence. And from this surrounded, nurturing, loving space, ask for guidance around your purpose. It may be a word that comes in, it could be a phrase, it could be an image. What do you need to know in this moment about your purpose? And now ask your guides to clear away any blocks, any resistance, any fears. Where they're not clearing them away, at least allow them to be very clear to you. These blocks to our purpose can be so good at being creative and hiding what the truth is, creating illusions. Just see what that energy is. And then ask if it's yours. Is it your energy or is it something outside of you? Is it your energy or is it a past life energy? Is it karmic? Just get curious about it all. And as that information becomes crystal clear to you, I invite you to come back to this time in this space. Grab your paper or your notebook, because it would not be Sunday Morning Grace if we didn't talk about a journal, and make a few notes. So I'm actually going to invite everybody to just take a moment and write down what you saw, because it's really important. And then we're going to dive into some things here.
Carolyn, that was really, really powerful. And I do echo what you just said about writing it down. And I know that I'm not alone in what I was feeling. And I know there are people out there that are experiencing something strong too. Whether it was a vision, an image, something you heard, something you felt. And I will share, for me, it was uncomfortable when you asked to bring that fear up. I mean, I could feel it was almost to the point where it was really getting uncomfortable, the blockage and the fear. And when I had asked a guide to come in and help me, and together it was like this boulder, and we just kind of pushed it away. And as we were pushing it away out of the way, my body felt like it was getting more relaxed and feeling more freer and releasing and letting that block go. So I just felt like it was important to share that, because I know that there are others like me out there that had some kind of wonderful experience too. And this is the power of journaling and taking, I mean, that was a couple of minutes, that Carolyn walked us through. And if you need to listen to this again, this replay again, do so. You create your own, or just spend a few minutes and ask yourself those questions in your meditation. And that's how powerful and quick things can happen. Things can shift that quickly. So thank
Yeah,
you again, Carolyn.
absolutely. And if it is ancestral, if it is karmic, there are tools. I do the work, Dawn does the work. There's a lot of other people here associated with Angels Teach and Divine Order, the Sacred Rose, that do the work. Find a practitioner, somebody who can guide you through releasing that energy, because you will, like you said, your energy is going to open up so much more. When we are carrying stuff that isn't ours, it just, it's like carrying somebody else's backpack, right? I mean, we got enough of our own stuff. We don't need to be piling other things on top of it. It's just not necessary. But sometimes as an individual, it's difficult to sort through what is ours and what isn't ours. And it does slow us down. It gets in the way of our purpose. And each of us has a unique purpose. And what I was guided to really dive into today is purpose-driven fear.
Think about that.
Yep. So oftentimes our fear is directly related to our purpose. There's this weaving in and out. And how do we channel that? How do we turn fear into a motor for our purpose instead of that anchor that it oftentimes is? So this concept came to me as part of a writing group that I was in, and I was invited to do a guest blog on purpose-driven fear, for my business. And it was a beautiful experience to tap into that energy of fear and how I have used fear to move my business forward. So every time something would rise up that felt like fear, I converted it into an energy. And what I thought back to was something really simple from, oh my gosh, probably right out of college. I am phobic of needles. I couldn't even watch them give my kids a shot when they were growing up, because if I saw the needle, I was out. It's just crazy, but it's true. So to help me make a difference, because a big part of my energy is service, I started donating blood. And I used the purpose, the motivation of helping someone else to move through this fear. Now, I still don't like needles. I've got a routine. I just let them know that, to let me know. And I have got a way that I move through it and I make a difference. And that's what it's really all about. Making a difference. Our purposes are here to allow us to make our unique difference in the world. So if we can find a way to turn that energy into a support system to make a difference, how cool would that be?
So I love, love, love that story, Carolyn. And I hope that Carolyn's story invites you to take your paralyzing fear and turn it into igniting your purpose and your passion. So we invite you to look at your life and your fears and what you feel your purpose is, and discover or rediscover what your fears are, and how can you take your fears and make them, in your mind, take it from something that's very negative and something that's holding you back into something that's positive and something that's going to actually be the motor that propels you forward, that drives you and gets you going and gets you moving forward, um, on that path that you really want to be on.
Yeah, and that your soul is calling you to be on. You know, it's so important that we do live into this energy, because that's why we're here. And the fear is, you know, it makes it murky. It's the best way I can see it. You know, for me, it's been, oh, I don't have clarity of my mission. I can't do something until. So it's finding a way to release that energy and fully step into the fear, embrace the fear. You know, fear is an old voice, right? You know, fear, resistance, they're old voices, aspects of ourselves that, you know, if you think about it as parents and grandparents and going back to the beginning of time, how do you keep a child safe? You frighten them so that they don't do something. You're going to burn your hand if the big bad wolf will get you if. You know, in growing up at my grandparents' house, they didn't want us going into the boiler room for good reason. I mean, we could have really gotten injured down there. It was an old it was an old boiler, and the door closed and locked. I mean, they had their purposes, right? So they told us Bluebeard lived there, and that we might end up, you know, hanging out. Who would do that to a little kid?
Uh, it
Terrible.
worked.
As an
Just
adult,
say,
as an adult, I still had a hard time going in, like, to get something from from that room because of the fear, right? So how do you overcome that? You realize that it's an illusion. It's a story. And then you ground yourself and you let the story go. You release it. You bring in your guides. You work with a coach or a healer, and you let that old story go. And yeah, it's not easy. When I was just talking, I don't know if you could hear the catch in my voice when I was even saying the story. You know, that the energy of that, it becomes embedded in your DNA.
right, and it's what you're talking about. What you're bringing focus on is what's expanding. And even though you just told the story, your brain was processing that story as your mouth was speaking it, and your body was reacting. See, your body doesn't know the truth from a lie.
Right.
So because you're stating it and you're in your mind, you're reliving yourself going down to that boiler and talking about the door being locked, your brain, yes, knows that that is now a story, didn't know it then, but your body is reacting as if it's real and it's really happening right now. So for you, you felt that in your throat, and you felt it, you felt your body kind of tense up. So what is it that you are telling yourself? What fears are you focusing on? Because that's what your body is going to react to. So if you're focusing on the fears and the lack and the blockages, then your body is going to react accordingly. And it's not your body's fault. You can't blame your body. It's what are you feeding your body? What your thoughts, which thoughts are you choosing to feed your body and your soul?
Yes.
So if it's a really big fear, it means it's a really big purpose. And it doesn't mean that you have to go all at it from the whole, do it all at once. And but to take a step, baby steps, one step today, one step tomorrow.
Yep.
Is what is going to get you there. Doing nothing and staying in fear and paralyzed is not going to get you on your purpose. So if you have a really big fear, then, like for you, Carolyn, using your story as a perfect example, where you just pass out at the sight of needles and now you're giving blood. Hello, which requires needles. That's like amazing. But what you did was you focused on the people's lives that you're saving with your life-saving blood. And you put aside your fear of the needle. You told the people, this is where I'm at. This is how we need to do this in order for me to be successfully giving you my blood. It works.
It
And
does
it's
work.
successful. Yeah.
It does. And every single time I do that, a little piece of the fear goes away because I am telling my body that it's okay. And, I chose this way. There's a lot of other ways people can get rid of phobias, right? I chose to confront mine myself directly because that's the way I started it, in my early 20s. And as I confronted this huge fear for me, I noticed that it was easier for me to work through other fears.
Right.
Because if I could do this really big one, which again, a phobia is something that, not necessarily makes any sense, but
Right.
for my world, it's a huge deal. And so look around your own lives and see, what fears do you have and the impact that they're having on your life. Now, a silly little thing around, the needles is, I was so phobic of needles that I would get my teeth filled without Novocaine.
Oh.
Because I was so afraid of the needles. Okay.
Wow.
So about the pain and the trauma that I put on my body.
Oh, I can't even think about that.
Because I couldn't take the needle. So I mean, this is the way our fears hold us back, and in the depth of it. On the other side of it, my mom wouldn't allow me to get my ears pierced. Everybody was getting their ears pierced until I could go to either the dentist or the doctor and get my shots without being a baby.
Yeah.
So, I think I was 18 years old before I could work my way through it to be able to confront the fear. And, I say these and I give these examples because they sound like they're not a huge deal. But think about all the other ways that our fear have held us back. And we don't even recognize that's stopping us from doing things that we want to do. I mean, it's like I made myself go and not cry getting a shot so I could get my ears pierced. It's you when you recognize and you can see the correlation of things, or you can see the benefit of something that's coming in, then you find a way to use that fear as a motivator.
Yes.
You basically convert it, right?
Yep.
Take the energy of fear that's holding you back and you flip it 180 degrees.
It's all where you put your focus. So if you put your focus on your purpose, because today we're talking about purpose, your direction changes, your focus changes, and you're driven in a whole different way. So, and your reasons for your fear could be positive and what we would call negative, right? So you could not be doing it because you're feeling judgment, and that could be one of your fears. If you do what you want to do, then you're fearing being judged. Can't handle that. You might feel that you're going to fail. Can't handle that, so I'm just going to stay back here and I'm not going to do this big thing. I got this big fear and I got this big thing that I can't do because I'm fearing failure. Can't do that. Can't be looked at that way. You might look at it where it's going to give you more work. I don't got time for that, so I'm just going to stay in my fear. Or you might succeed and you don't know what that's going to feel like. You don't know how that's good, because that's really going to change you. Success will change you and it will change your life. But that can also be something that's stopping you. That could also be one of your blocks and one of your fears. Whatever your fear is, face it, write through it, work through the reason that you have this fear. And, you know, Carolyn, like you said, you don't really always have an explanation why you fear needles. I mean, it could be a past life thing, right? Who knows? You saw something in a movie when you were 2 or 3 and it just freaked you out, and it just is kind of like a subconscious thing. And now you're afraid of needles. So whatever the case may be, we can't always make sense of our fears, but they're there, and they're there to teach them.
Yeah, they are there to, they're there to teach us. And, you know, I think back on how traumatized at time, you know, I've been with this, but yet it's given me a tool to move through other types of fears. So there's a positive. And, you know, I think that's another thing when we're talking about your purpose is, you know, celebrate the things that you're doing. You know, we are, as a society, you know, especially in the United States, we have gotten into, you know, checklists, and I'm the checklist queen. Really, I love checklists. I love sticky notes, but we're just like, oh, done, and move on to the next thing. What's next on the list? You know, it's not done. Woohoo! Let's have a party because I finished something. You know, we need to get more into that. And it's like every step along the way, celebrating, I really am owning my purpose. Maybe today I'm owning my purpose 5%. You know, maybe tomorrow it'll be 10%. Maybe last week it was 50%. But everything that we do to celebrate it, you know, and the more we do that, the celebration, the gratitude, the joy, there's no space for fear anymore. Or it becomes smaller. And wouldn't that be fun? You know, I'm a huge fan of the 80-20 rule. You know, so if I'm 80% in my purpose and 20% dealing with something, I consider that a win. And a learning opportunity, but it's truly a win.
Yeah.
So,
and if it's a big fear, again, it's something you're meant to do.
yeah.
And there's something, it's so big, so the purpose is big and the fear feels big. So break it down and do your 80-20 if you want to bring that in. Bring in your focus on 80% of your purpose, and just give 20% to your fear, right? So having 80% of your focus on your purpose is really going to get you to take some steps, because only 20% is on your fear. Right. So if you want to do the 80-20 thing, I think that's a great way to bring that into allowing yourself to move forward, moving past your fears by putting 80%. It's not 100%. It's not focusing 100% on your purpose, although, I mean, that's your goal, right? To bring your 100% in. And are we ever really at 100%? Yeah, you may have, tomorrow might be 100%. The next day might be 98 or 80, you know, whatever the case may be, because life is like that, right? Let's just face it. You know, we're not always on our game every single day, every single minute of every single day. We're humans. We have emotions. We have life, and you know, you're excused because we're humans. You know, we have that. But you know, use that 80-20 to begin. If you feel like there's something on your doorstep that's knocking on your door, and you feel it knocking and knocking even louder and louder and louder and more persistent, and it's just not going away. Like, if you can't run from it, you can't hide from it, then you need to do it. That's why it's not going away, because it's got your name on it. You signed up for this. You have the gifts to bring it out and to manifest it and to do it in a beautiful way, in a way that nobody else can do it. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be 100,000 of you that have that same title, but they can't do it the way that you can. And they can't reach people and talk to people the way that you can. Just you being in a room makes a difference in a way that no one else can. So keep that in mind when you feel this pressure of this thing, this purpose, this desire, this knocking on your door that just won't stop and you can't turn it off. You can't run and hide from it. There's a reason for that. Give it the attention that it needs, that your soul is asking for you to give it. Do yourself justice and focus on what your gifts are and what you came here to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so powerful and just to, I love that you said, um, we're all human because we are, I mean, we chose this experience to work through the fears, to work through some of the lessons, to shift into more love, to shift into whatever our purpose is. And some people, their purpose could be to be the best electrician there is. That might be their purpose. And they may have obstacles along the way to get there. Or maybe that they're supposed to be the best teacher and be the one that advocates for kids. And I mean, there's a million purposes. I think sometimes we get wrapped up in, everybody thinks that they need to, be Tony Robbins. That's not my purpose. I mean, I'm certainly a leader and I certainly change people, but on that magnetism and in his style, that's not me. So you can actually get yourself wrapped up into trying to make yourself something you're not, because fear is pretty tricky.
It is. You put your own little twist on whatever it is you do. Again, there's a million electricians, but they don't do it the way you do. And something's coming to mind, a cute little story that my daughter had shared with me. There's a Dunkin' Donuts that she goes to that she really likes. And one of the reasons is this very reason. She does the drive-through. She pulls up to the drive-through, and the person, whoever it is on the other end, whoever it does, they all do it. They'll say, "Good morning. How can I make your day better today?" Have you ever gone to a Dunkin' Donuts or a McDonald's or any kind of drive-through you go, they usually say, how can I help you today? Or, what can I get for you? But it's, how can I make your day better today? And you're like, wow, so that's how that particular, establishment is putting their twist. How many Dunkin' Donuts are there? Like millions.
Yeah.
But the way that they put their twist on it makes my daughter and many other people want to go to that Dunkin' Donuts, because even when you get up to the window, they're all super sweet and they're all very catering and are glad to have you there and to serve you. And just that feeling alone makes you want to go to that Dunkin' Donuts and support them. So you have your own little twist to do your thing that millions of other people do. They don't do it like you do.
That's right. That's right. And that's what makes us magnetic. And that's what, when we collapse into that fear, instead of allowing that fear to propel us out or forward or to be seen or to take that class or to start that relationship or to release that relationship, all of it is related. When we allow that to happen, somebody isn't getting what they need because they need us. They need me, they need you, they need everybody who's watching this here.
Yeah.
Because we're all unique. Like you said, we each have our own tiny little take on it. And I think you have to hear the same thing, 7 times before it really sticks? Think about that. 7 times it's got to be repeated. And you might hear it from a multitude of people until you finally hear it from the person that phrases it in exactly the same way you need to hear it after hearing all these other versions. And if you are that person that somebody's waiting for, allow your fear to fuel your purpose so that you can be of service. It's really
Use your gifts. Yeah, it's your gift. Your gift, a gift isn't meant to be given. You don't keep gifts, give them. So you have your own gifts. Give your gifts. Give of yourself. Give what you do best, whatever that is. And it may seem little or like nothing. You know, I'm just being me. But that's the magic. You are the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. And when you say, the energy of I'm just being me, you're also not celebrating who you are, right? Back to
Right.
celebration and joy. It's celebrating your uniqueness,
Mm-hmm.
allowing you to shine. My great friend and mentor Alan Davidson always used to say, "Fly your own freak flag." Just be yourself in whatever way that is. Maybe you're kinder than most people. Let it shine. That's your flag. Maybe you're flamboyant and and really out there. And that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
We all have our own ways of showing up and being ourselves. Um, and if you think back to another journaling opportunity, think back to your childhood and what you loved to do and what you were told not to do. For me, it was color outside the lines. I'm like, there's all this space on this page that has no color. Why can't I color in that space? It's just waiting to be filled in and to be made more happy. Never made sense to me. And I'm sure everybody's got one, right? So how is that related to your purpose? That I wanted to fill in and be creative in the space that hadn't been explored yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
come back and let us know. Type in the comments with, what do you remember being told not to do as a child? And use that as, the fuel for your fear. Your fear of being different, your fear of not fitting in, the fear of isolation, whatever the fears are. We're not in the Stone Age anymore where, being isolated or being different is, being ostracized from the tribe. But a lot of times we still carry that energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Woo! Another powerful week, Carolyn. This was it was a lot of I feel like there's a lot of nuggets in here. And I invite you to re-listen to this again and pull those nuggets out. And this might be the seventh time that you need to hear something, and it's right in here in this clip. And we invite you to listen to it again, because I feel like there are people out there that are on their sixth time, and there's something in here that's number 7 that's going to give you the energy and the knowledge and it's like something that you hear that's just going to click and flip that switch, that's going to allow you and give you the opportunity and the permission to take that next step and move yourself forward on your path, on your purpose.
That's right.
Yeah.
And do engage with us. We love to see, I can see that there's some people out there that are watching live. Thank you so much. And I know that people will be watching the replay, but, let us know what resonated and what came up for you, how we'll reply back. Let's get some engagement going here. I love that.
Yep. We're all here to support each other. You're supporting us, we're supporting you.
Yes, absolutely.
With our gifts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Good. All right. Let me get my beautiful little tenants here.
Yes. I open my heart with deep gratitude and intend today to master my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical energies.
I am dedicated to my spiritual practice. I surrender to my soul's purpose through sacred prayer. I own my guidance.
I live in partnership with my angels. I serve with a loving heart. I am compassionate in every moment.
I trust it's all good. I allow immediate forgiveness. I honor my truth.
I listen to the spiritual messages within my physical body. I express myself creatively. I am one with Mother Earth. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody who joined us. And as I said, I would love to get some feedback. Let us know what you discovered about your fear and your purpose and how they're tied in and how you can convert that fear into something that's helping you to move forward. All right, everybody. Bye-bye for now.
Bye for now. See you next time.